What is up, folks? It is about 1 o'clock in the morning, Pacific Standard Time. I just finished all my preparation for tomorrow's shoot. It's going to be a long day because I have a bit of driving to do, but it's going to be in St. George, Utah. So, when I was researching this area, first I was fascinated by its history because that's kind of something that I'm into. But I also have some coworkers or old coworkers, I guess, that had talked about the place because of its availability to like retirement, second homes and things like that. And then as I was researching for the video and kind of looking into why it would be a great place to just be, I discovered over a cursory glance that is about 2 hours from every type of climate. And now, after I've finished the research and kind of digging around on Google Maps to see what is really available, it's not a lie. It's not a lie. You can access just about every climate with a 2 to 3 hour drive from the Grand Canyon to here in Las Vegas or up to Bryan Head or any of the other like hiking in kind of like mid to northern Nevada. It's really just an ideal location. And this reminded me of an experience in my life, and that's the story that I want to tell you. You see, the company I used to work for was a rental company that rented things out all over the world. So I've been to 42 states, 6 countries. One of them was Kuwait. Now, when I worked in Kuwait, we worked in Kuwait City, and my company was contracted through a production company that hired people from all over the world. We had people from Taiwan, uh, Czech Republic, Poland, Germany, Brazil, everywhere, Spain. They were from all over the place. And there was an individual that I met who is actually was a pretty good acquaintance at the time. I don't know that I could call him a friend because we didn't get to know each other that much. I was only there for about 10 days, but he was an individual that I hung out with and chatted with quite a bit. And one thing that really surprised him was that that was my first time outside of the country. And at the time, I kind of went into a bit of a defensive mode. And I said, "Well, yeah, we don't really need to," without really knowing what I was saying. I hadn't done any research on it or anything like that. It was just kind of like a reflex. But now I look back at it and I say, that's 100% the truth. America is still a very new country. It's basically the baby country in the entire world. But it does have a very rich history. There's a lot of things that have happened here, a lot of notable events that can be researched, places that you can visit, monuments that stand. And the important thing is every type of climate. We have deserts, we have mountains. Maybe not a rainforest, but who really likes humidity? Am I right? So then researching, St. George and realizing that you can live in this one city that's fairly small comparatively, sitting at like 120, 150,000 people, and you can drive 2 to 3 hours to any kind of climate you want to be in. You know, the beach is a bit farther. You got to go through a state. That's like 8 hours, but there's plenty of lakes, beachside types of things. You're not going to get that white sand beach uh, experience, but there's still lakes available. There's a river that runs through St. George that I'm sure a lot of people plan, and I'll get to find out tomorrow. It'll be a really great experience. But I just wanted to tell you guys about that. Like, America is such a vast and like different. What's the word? Not different. What am I thinking of? There's just so many opportunities. There's so many different experiences that you can have here. I don't feel ashamed of not being out the country before then because why? Like I grew up in Minnesota. It was a 4 hour drive to um, Lake Superior. We could go and boat on Mississippi River all the time. We could drive south, through Iowa and experience. Well, I guess Illinois and Indiana. eh, But either way, it's not that much of a distance. It's not that bad. When I was in college, I drove a moving truck for a friend of mine, and it was about a 15-hour drive from Minnesota to Texas. And I went from, arguably one of the coldest states in the country to arguably one of the hottest states in the country in a day. We stopped, but ultimately it could be done in a day. Not necessarily responsibly, but it could be done. And that's just a story that I wanted to share with you guys is, you know, appreciate where you are, what you have available to you, no matter where you are in the world, really, because Europe, there's so much history. There's been so many different events that have happened that have moved things east to west, west to east, and everywhere else in the world. Like, take stock of where you are and what's around you, because I guarantee you're gonna find something really rewarding. Anyway, cheers. Stay healthy, folks.